Two in, two up, back ends, boot up, look up, I'm flying, yeah, I'm free now, see now, society's
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England. The shadows starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Fighting his way through contact. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now ETN to start the drive. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Flushed out right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence. What a play by him. That's a loss of 17. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Lawrence. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defenders' minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. And that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. It's Devin Lloyd with a pick. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hunter. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. On 1st and 10, it's ETN. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Here's Lawrence. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Lawrence to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. And this one is right through. And that'll make it 3-0 here in the first. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
And they'll run. It's Ken Walker. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. But you look at this defense coming into this one ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
When they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against the people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league, so there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. This is taken at the 15. And they can't bring him down. And that'll go as a 57-yard punt with a return of 12. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has, really. And they come up here now, 1st down. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Looking long for Thomas, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They go play action now. Lawrence. They'll roll him out right. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Now Lawrence. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And that's going to be incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
On 2nd down, a run with Etienne. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down. Lawrence will throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And this one is incomplete.
Scramble drill there, partner. Some teams have some pretty good rules for it. Others are just saying make sure you work your way back into the sight lines of your quarterback, even if you take the play deep. And that's what they attempted to do on that one, unable to connect.
Eluding the pressure right. And that's complete to Etienne out of the backfield. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay gain.
Throw left side complete. That's Hunter. Touchdown! A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to extend their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Coming off every player's friend, the open week from last weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Even if you're coming off of a loss as they did, the open week is exactly what you need after you kind of get over it a little bit, right? Rest up the mind, rest up the body, get yourself ready to go. And they have to be eager to play again, especially since they lost the last time out.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Back to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And taken right on the 30. And he'll take a shot at the end of that one, and they'll begin right there. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Now Lawrence. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. False start's going to push them back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Reek Woolen. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
Flush to his right. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. Here's Walker. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
Walker once more, but he will go backwards as he stopped for a loss. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Flushed out right. Touchdown, Seahawks. Ken Walker, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks are back within a score. Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one, as he won't make it back to the 20. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from adding another catch to his big start.
Second and 10. Here's Lawrence again. Open man. This is Brenton Strange, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
He completes it to Hunter. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
Let's go, baby. Oh, red. Hey, Soko, hot. 13, Luke. Red. 30 left. Switch. Great time.
Now Lawrence to throw. Touchdown! Brenton Strange, 27 yards. And they are able to add on to their advantage. They're going for 2. They'll kick the point after. It's good to make it 17-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
That'll be taken in by Shaheed.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
A 1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome.
And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Escaping the pressure right. To the right side and complete to Thomas. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. On play action, they'll throw. Looking deep downfield. He's got it at the 15. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A great play there. 71 yards.
And the Seahawks come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And good coverage defensively. They wouldn't let him get ahead of steam going, and he'll be brought down at the 15. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Mike 13. He's coming. Check in. Let's go, D.
Hey, I'm gun.
It's going to be a long day.
Mike 13.
From the shotgun, Lawrence.
His throw incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Hey, check flag 33.
Go, let's go.
Here we go.
Looking to throw. Lawrence.
Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception.
And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
2nd down and 8.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
He finds Smith and Jigba in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown.
A great effort there. 26 yards.
And the Seahawks have scored again in this 3rd quarter, this time to move out in front.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that will make this a 4-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their lead, they have seen it evaporate completely after such a good first half. They've been shut down here in the 3rd quarter.
Searching for answers, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back to where they were before. The big part of it is that sometimes you don't have to go exotic now. You go back to basics. Being able to run the football, string some things together, some effective passes, try and get a rhythm established again, and try and get back in the lead.
Back in the lead, like you said, back to the basics. Looking long for Thomas. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Lawrence.
Oh, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence.
And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
It's so rare to see any quarterback toss back-to-back interceptions in the NFL, regardless of status or experience. Whether it's him personally or just the offensive game plan, I think this defense is reading something out there, and they're holding the upper hand.
Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year.
And the Seahawks get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that pushes the lead up to 11.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 41-yard line. A big pickup of 38. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41. Back to throw. Lawrence. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. DeMarcus Lawrence. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Throwing on 2nd and long. Lawrence. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. Looking to throw. Lawrence. In trouble, and he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence. My goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Here now a 3rd and 20. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So that potentially a turning point here this 3rd quarter. A 2-score lead down to 1 now following the pick 6.
And that had to be the message at halftime for this defense. Delivered and accepted. We need to go out there and make something happen.
Point after try forthcoming. And the lead is down to 4. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on a sack. So, Charles, I mean, this is just becoming an exhibition now on how to rush the passer.
Yeah, and I can't help but laugh a little bit because I'm enjoying what we're watching. This is coming from a guy who was in college just a year ago, and we keep harping on their evaluation. They saw not just a guy who could rush the passer, but could rush the passer well, and that's why they took him as high as they did.
And unable to connect, incomplete. Now, give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. From the gun, it's Lawrence. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Welcome back now here in London as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. The offense on 3rd down, not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. 17 yards there on 3rd down as they pick up a 1st and 10. A shotgun snap and a give to ETN. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Now a throw here, hauled in. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Right there, he rose to the occasion late in a close game.
It's something he thought about, dreamed about, and worked on throughout his career. Because in these types of situations, he wasn't going to allow extra coverage to keep him from getting the football.
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And it's caught. Touchdown. Brian Thomas, 37 yards. And the Bulldogs have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and that gives them a 3-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Now, the bad news for them, they've seen that cushion they once had totally evaporate, and they're working from behind. The good news, they now have the opportunity to regain the lead right back. Foyesade Oluwakan made the tackle there from his safety position. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Straight ahead, Walker. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. And Walker once more. And down to the 36-yard line here. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Being chased out left. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Touchdown, Seahawks. A great effort there. 28 yards. And the Seahawks answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead. Myers connects on the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one, as he won't make it back to the 20. This is 1st and 10. Play action. It's Lawrence. This ball caught by Strange. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. ETN up the middle. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
Throwing now, Lawrence. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And that last throw right there putting him already over 3,000 passing yards now for the campaign.
And given where we are in the season, Brandon, you have to think to yourself, if he stays healthy, I think 4,000's a given. I think 5,000 is not out of the question if he stays hot.
Here's Lawrence. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. He's back to throw. And a throw right sideline is complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Well, this offense still has the 1 timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. Back to throw. And oh, that one nearly intercepted. That would have sealed it. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. He'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. This ball intercepted. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. A 2nd and 11 from the 19. Back to throw, Lawrence. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for the Londoners, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they will hit the road